Hello and welcome to our first game of the playoff stretch of the season in the NECC. I'm Vector. There's my co-caster.
I'm Monsieur, and with that being said, let's get right into our pick and bans for the first for the quarterfinals. NECC versus Grand Canyon University. Coming out, GCU will be on the blue side. Valpo will be taking the red. The first bands that we see from GCU are going to be the Zach and the Aurora bands. Again, really strong picks. Super Bears, super comfortable pick of Zach, and then the Flex Aurora being available by both Dreadful and Jakimbo is going to be offline for them.
Yeah, I think those have been two kind of cornerstone champions for Valpo this season. It's like you pick the Aurora, you can flex it mid and top, but I don't think we've seen it taken top yet this season. Um, but yeah,
We haven't seen it taking it top, and we're going to see some quick final picking fans here. Kind of surprised on set of GCU with the Casante, but before we get into that pick, we see the Cinder band from GCU again, a really solid pick. Cinder's been in a really strong spot the past, just basically ever since the durability update. And then from Valpo's end, we do see the Skarner band, we see the Ash band, and we see the Talia band. All again really strong picks, especially that Ash. Ash has been just able to run down games and just be really, really strong. But back to the actual picks that we have on hand, we see the Casante pick, which I don't know about you, Vector, but it feels a little weird to see a top
Asante
lane
first pick.
blue one.
Yeah, that is a little out of place, it seems.
But we are going to see, though, the Valpo isn't going to pick their, I'm assuming not going to pick their top lane quite yet. They're going to
I mean,
show me
yeah,
wrong.
if you know the other person's top lane, you might as well just take the counter pick and save other stuff for later. But do we think that's Swain mid or support?
Or Sway DC. I don't know. Swain's ever since for those of you who don't know, Swain got a rework. Not this patch, but the last patch, and because of that, people are still trying to fully figure him out. But he's seen a lot higher of a win rate. I think he's sitting at around a 53% win rate, if I had to be
You
corrected.
know,
But
that could be that could be arcane buffs, but it just we don't know yet.
we don't know yet. If any of you watch Arcane in the chat, type your favorite character, but please no season two spoilers. We are keeping a season two spoiler free household in the lab until at least Thanksgiving break to allow the players time to watch it. But we are going. But arcane buffs aside, Swain could again. I think we could still see as a really good flex pick for mid or either of those or of the bottom lane. So having that and keeping that available is going to be very nice. We might see the jungler, we might see a jungler pick, or we might see a mid lane pick here, based off of the Silas and Caitlyn. Silas's Swain ult could I think definitely become a pretty big problem. Just because of that, all that extra damage and the ability of lifesteal, and then Caitlyn is Caitlyn. Like, what are you gonna do? She's just gonna poke you out from a distance. We're going to see the Wukong though come in, and while it's probably going to be a Silas minute, Silas jungle is technically not out of the question here. But again, a pretty decent engage, less carry picks that we're seeing from Valpo in the first three picks, which is a little unlike Valpo. Usually, you see at least
Yeah,
one carry at this
I
point
mean,
in the pick man phase.
Swain definitely can carry, especially with that change to his ultimate where it doesn't really end as long as he's hitting somebody.
Hmm.
Swain can become a huge problem pretty quickly, especially if he has a Wukong kind of keeping everybody in the same place. That can be a lot of damage from Swain. So I think that might be what Valpo's trying to do, go for like a more brawly style team comp.
Which would make perfect sense with that Gnar again, as long as Dreadful is able to keep up Gnar's rage at an adequate level, being able to keep them up having prolonged fights is what Valpo is going to want here. And with the Casante, you're going to want a prolonged fight until he chooses to go all out and try to zone one of the enemy team members away. But looking at the final picks here, final bans, I should say, from GCU and Valpo, we're going to see the Poppy ban. Poppy ban, again, really good. Any engage, so Gnar and Wukong would have gotten shut down pretty strongly by Poppy. Again, super strong champion, one of Super Bear's dreaded picks that whenever he sees that champion. Then we see the Braum pick, or the Braum ban, again, a really solid really solid, ban. GCU does look like that they have a pretty strong Braum player, so making sure that that's not available. And then on the side of GCU, we do see two ADCs go in the line, so they are assuming that Swain is going to be mid lane. It looks like with Jinx and Ezreal. We're going to see the Vel'Koz here. What do you think about that pick, Vector?
I mean, that's kind of one of Jakimbo's all-time champions. That is like possibly the Jakimbo champion. So I would guess that's good. That means we're going to be taking the Swain bot lane, and Vel'Koz will be mid. So we have our support. No, because it'll be Swain. Will it be Swain ADC or support?
I don't know. I would want to say it's going to be Swain ADC, but I'm still not used to how he fully works. So I could say I think it's still up in the air. I think Valpo could allow that for either. I think GCU believes that it was a Swain mid pick or a
Yeah,
support pick. They don't. I'm pretty sure they don't think it was an ADC pick. But we're gonna have to see the final pick from Valpo. Valpo's gonna keep us on our keep the casters on their toes as we're looking in here. But we are gonna see the final pick from GCU is gonna be the double tree of Ivern Maokai.
this is a weird team. This is a weird team.
Because what?
That is going to be a very very hard to kill team.
Yeah, Ivern jungle, Maokai support, right?
Yeah, you can't play Ivern anywhere else, really.
No more Ivern top crazy
No,
plays.
I don't think so. It's
Darn it.
just it's so hard to farm lane minions as Ivern. Oh, so it is Swain AP carry.
It is Sweetie C. Okay.
This is an interesting one.
I don't know how I feel about this one. This for some reason like both teams just I get a sense of an ick from both of these
An
teams.
ick? What do you mean the ick?
It feels they both feel weird. Like we've
Yeah, I
seen
get that.
I don't think we've seen an Ivern or Malcoy almost at all either in NECC or in the other or in any of our games so far this semester. So I'm really excited to see where both ends are going to go with this. We're not seeing the traditional zigs on Diadem, but we're going to see the Swain. So I'm excited to see I know he's been practicing it, so we're going to see we're going to see some good picks from both GCU and Valpo here, keeping us on our toes for the first game of the quarterfinals here.
Yeah,
Vector, what do you think about the draft?
one thing I think Valpo might have misstepped a little bit in this draft is we saw the Swain early and then gave him Wukong and Vel'Koz ultimates. Those are both some really strong ultimates for Swain to get. Especially the Vel'Koz, just because he already gets so much AP. That's like a gigantic laser beam he can shoot. But Swain is also really strong ult for Sylas, so that Sylas is definitely a scary pick here. But we're going to go to break really quick, and we will be back with Game 1 of our playoff series versus Grand Canyon University.
All right, Valpo, welcome back to the quarterfinal game 1 between GCU and Valpo. We are going to see some fun pings in the chat as our lab gets ready for the evening with slightly longer ping times. With that being said, we're going to see some fun action by GCU on GCU's end. And as they go in, just taking a quick look at the items here, most of it is pretty standard. We see the on GCU's end, we're going to see the Doran's shield, the Doran's ring, and the Doran's blade. And then we're going to see from Gnar, we're going to see the Doran's blade, 2, and then double ring, and then support item. Something to point out though, something to point out that's interesting is we're going to see Ivern's not going to take the potion again. Ivern's whole gimmick is that he never actually harms the creatures. All he does is simply release them. So there's no reason for him to start potion because he's not going to ever take any jungle camp damage. With that being said, we're hearing some final pings. It does look like Dedem and the Law are looking to probably prevent an early invade. And Silas is going to be able to kind of Silas is going to move up a little bit in preparation for Dreadful here. Looking at Summoners, though, kind of interesting to see that it is going to be a triple TP on the side of Valpo's end, so it is going to be that Valpo will have the ability to reposition a lot better late game, as we're going to see from the top, mid, and ADC. And with that being said, give us 1 second for the camera. But with that being said, we're going to see some, again, final pings go in. We are going to see, though, that GCU is going to hit level 2 first. Is going to look to get some damage on the Law. Not going to be able to get too much out, but is going to mean that Valpo does lose bot wave priority for the next round minute or so. We're going to see Dedem and the Law will get their level 2 and are going to try to clear the way, trying to help reset the CS to be a little bit better. Kimbo is going to lay down some damage with the B-Cause and just kind of force Silas to be taking a little bit more. Dreadful is successfully starting to zone out Cassante for a decent bit of that CS. Both junglers clearing their bottom sides of the camp, so we could see some potential action happening in the bot lane in about a minute. With that being said, we're going to see that Silas is going to take some more damage. Dedem is going to land the root into the double stud, into the cleanse from Caitlyn, meaning that summoner spell is not going to be up for any length of time. We are going to see though that Ivern is going to come into Valpo. Dedem is going to get rooted. Thresh is going to pop the Lantern. Dedem is going to fall. The kill is going to go to Ivern there, and unfortunately Valpo will be the one to fall and give the first blow to GCU. However, the kill does go to the Ivern instead of the Caitlyn.
I mean, Ivern early ganks, especially with the Maokai. Ivern and Maokai synergize more than I had thought they would at first, because when Ivern hits his Q, everybody can like auto attack and it will kind of shoot them towards the enemy that got rooted by the Q. And that lets Maokai just get on top of whoever Ivern rooted really, really quickly. That's kind of a scary thing to get hit by, for sure. Jakimbo has Kaizen on the ropes in the mid lane. He's very, very low. A little bit of a skirmish between Dreadful and Avoid Me. Uh-oh.
Oh, Dreadful is going to flash. We are going to see the reverse solo bolo come out as Cassante is going to be able to get the kill onto Dreadful. Both top laners do have to burn that flash and that engage. We do see Super going up in the top lane, maybe looking for something. Jakimbo's low on mana right now, not going to be able to do much. Ivern is there to provide additional support. We do see that Maokai is pinging for a potential dive. We're going to see the Hex Flash come out. The Law is going to look to try to prevent
what is going on in there?
Collapse. Dedem is just going to start getting some more stacks, as a lot of pressure is being sent towards the mid wave. It does look like Jakimbo is going at the back, and we are going to see, though, that Maokai is planting some saplings. Dedem is out pretty far.
That's a nice route, but I don't think it's going to get him out of this.
Oh, come on, Dedem.
Oh, I don't think he needed to burn the flash, but this might be the end of Caitlyn.
It is gonna be. They're gonna reverse that and turn that around. And
Steamroller's going. Oh,
the Law is gonna
Law.
go. The Law's gonna go in. Law does have his flash still. Could look for something, but I think he's gonna try not to. Ivern is gonna be topside on trying to catch Dreadful out. Dreadful is gonna go into Mega Gnar form.
Oh, he walked back into the queue. That's always unfortunate. He's
got to be careful here. Kasante is gonna take a turret shot. Unfortunately, the Law not being able to find Maokai, but definitely doing some major damage and turning around what could have been a really bad early lead on the side of GCU's part.
Did they change the minions model?
They did in Arcane. It's so different. Would like to say that.
Oh yeah, the towers are different too.
I would like to say that it is a hardcore nerf. Not gonna lie. If CSing feels so minion farming feels so different. We are going to see that Silas is going to try to dash. Jakimbo is going to keep the pressure on him. Actually, CS being just around even from both mid laners here. It does look like that Valpo is going to be taking the first dragon this time instead of Void Grubs. Again, something a little bit different than their normal strategy here. With that being said, however, taking a look at items across the board, we are going to see that Ivern has Dark Seal.
That is a good Ivern item.
Okay.
That item is really good on Ivern because all of his shields and stuff scale with AP, and it's honestly kind of hard for Ivern to die. Like it's very, very easy for Ivern to escape from many situations because his Q roots for so long and he can shield himself. And you get a ton of assists, which also stack your Dark Seal.
Okay. So I was gonna say I don't really know how effective that would be. We're gonna see Daisy come out in the mid wave, not be able to find anything. Dreadful is gonna be taking some damage here. Does have to be careful and respect Kasante, even though because again he does have cloth armor and a regular armor. And that all-out form is gonna deal a lot of damage as all that extra armor is converted. We are gonna see that the Law and Dedam are going to double combo. The Law actually going to hit the Maokai out of the Swain W.
I'm not sure what Maokai's doing right now, bagging in the middle of the lane. That feels like a bait of some kind.
I think he just wants to show that animation.
I think Dreadful is going to try and get the stun with his Mega Gnar form, but just a little bit too late on the engage. The Law kind of let Tidam take that Caitlyn headshot really quick.
But Caitlyn headshot not really doing a lot of damage. Again, only double longsword and cull here. And Caitlyn ult is definitely really nice to get a lot of poke damage in. But Caitlyn just not on a spot where that ultimate does a lot. So again, from a little bit weird to see it come out. We are though gonna see that based on CS, we are gonna see that it is gonna be Super Bear is gonna get found. We are gonna see though that Silas is gonna take the kill on Super Bear, which is gonna help widen Grand Canyon's gold lead to just around 2,000 gold. With that being said, we're gonna see the Dreadful again, just trying to hold his own in lane. He does have Mega Gnar form ready because I think he doesn't have a lot of mana here, but Dreadful does have to be careful as I think he's realized that he's a lot stronger than he might otherwise realize. Vel'Koz did burn, Jakimbo did burn all. I think it was probably in that when Super Bear like right after it panned away from his kill. So not going to be able to find the Silas quite yet. Is going to root the Caitlyn. We're gonna see the ult. We're gonna see the ignite and the cleanse. Dedam going in, trying to find as much damage on Caitlyn as he can.
Oh, I think he's gonna get Caitlyn with that.
The Law is going to take the kill, but still very powerful from the side of Valpo, being able to turn that team fight around. And because Maokai doesn't have the ult yet, he's just not as helpful to the team. Because that would have been an amazing disengage from Maokai if he had it, but he just didn't have the XP. Ivern is going to come in though. I don't think he's going to actually find anything. Just going to force Dedam and the Law off of it so that they can't get a lot of turret damage. We could see here though. We are going to see Void Grubs are going to be up in 45 seconds. Cloud Dragon is going to be up in a minute 45. So we could see a potential rotate by the Law going into Void Grubs, trying to allow 3 Void Grubs for each side. And because Valpo was able to get first Dragon, definitely not a bad thing if you're a Valpo fan.
Yeah, Kaizen has survived a lot of these fights with Jakimbo at super low health, and that has been a big issue. Not an issue as much, but Jakimbo would be much more ahead if he had been able to kill Kaizen those few times he's been super low.
Yeah, even just getting a single kill would have helped. Because again, around 90 CS or 80 CS at 10 minutes. We're speaking like first item. Oh, and DNM is gonna just barely get enough for that Q to find it here. We are gonna see that the ultimate is gonna go off on Caitlyn once again. The Law taking some pretty significant damage from Daisy. Kaizen going in looking like to find something and is gonna find the Law out. And with that being said, this is gonna be a little bit of an easier Grubs fight for GCU. Valpo is going to have to play this extremely smart or find their own pick if they want to look for an engage here. We're going to see that Dreadful is going to roam down, looking for a potential grab onto Void Grubs, not being able to find much. Jakimbo's ult is available. Could look for an ult grab. We are going to see though that Maokai is going to try to flash, but not going to be able to find a way out from Jakimbo. Super was able to steal a Void Grub, so it is 4-1. Oh, Dreadful is gonna take a lot of damage. But
we need to be careful to steal this other Grub to prevent the Void Grubs from.
Super is taking a lot of damage. Kaizen is getting a lot of gold from this fight. That's all 3 kills going on the side of GCU's mid laner. And I think that Valpo is just going to eventually decide to back off that Void Grubs fight. Not necessarily too big of a bonus to Valpo. Sacrificing 1 Grub, but trading for 2 extra kills on the mid laner. That Silas is going to become that Silas can very easily start becoming a genuine problem for Valpo if they do not play this game carefully. With that being said, we're going to see the Law is going to look like he's going to try to clear vision in preparation for a potential Dragon. Cassante does not have ultimate, does not have Unleashed TP, and Dreadful also used his in preparation to get back to mid lane. So we are gonna see that Ivern is bot side trying to look for maybe a potential poach onto Superhero's Raptors here, which is definitely going to be bad news. Bears.
Yeah, I mean Ivern is probably the best champion at stealing camps around this time in the game. Because with Ivern, have you played Ivern?
I have not.
Okay, so in case you don't know how he works, you basically set marks on jungle camps, and then over time those marks will basically finish, and you come back to the camp and you just right-click the camp and it's done.
Okay.
So that makes Ivern's early game kind of weird, because you have to walk through the jungle, spend health and mana marking all the camps, but your camps aren't actually done. You have to go back to them.
Okay.
But let's see how this fight goes really quick, and then I'll continue it. No!
Oh! Wait, we are going to see the Super come in. The Super is going to find the shutdown on Kaizen. That is going to be net positive because of all the extra gold. I think Jakimbo believing that that he was going to be slightly in turret range, and so popping his ultimate there. But again, really decent play on both sides. We are going to see that Jakimbo did end up burning Flash as well as his ultimate, but this does mean that this is going to slow down. This is going to slow down the game a little bit, as Wukong's is going to now probably Super is really going to be looking to back here to get his gold and what will be first item for him.
That was like some Dragon Ball Z action when both Vel'Koz ultimates were firing against each other. But what I was saying about Ivern is if you smite a camp as Ivern, that automatically finishes the mark that's on it. So that's how Ivern gets level 2 for a gank, is you like mark a buff and then smite it and it's immediately done. But that's why he's so good at stealing things, is because all you have to do is take like 3 seconds to channel the mark on the camp and then smite it and you can leave.
Okay. Well, with that little bit of extra knowledge imparted on me by our former jungler, we're gonna see that DNM is gonna overextend and unfortunately does get caught out here. Again, the kill going to the Maokai, not going to the ADC, which again trying to help Valpo's end. You obviously don't want to give up kills, but you'd rather give up kills to the support than to the enemy ADC. With that being said, GCU is going to take this dragon, making it 1-1. And if I would have bet anything, we could see Chemtexel here.
Yeah, it's all right to give one cloud early. It's not the worst thing in the world, and it's Mountain Soul. Valpo really needs to not let this enemy team get Mountain Souls with the Maokai and the Cassante. And I will take this moment of a little lower activity. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. They're fighting top lane. We're about to see Mega Gnar, so that'll let Dreadful disengage if he needs.
Valpo fighting.
Yeah, looks like we're back to normal. Oh, nope, he's getting out of there.
Yep, Valpo's gonna fight, and Valpo's not gonna look to all in on either side. But you said you were gonna take the second of less activity?
I'm going to officially announce my unretirement for next semester.
You're announcing your unretirement?
I'm announcing my unretirement. Coming back for one last semester, senior year.
Which means that Valpo fans, we're gonna get to see the Vector Nunu special.
Yeah, hopefully Nunu and a couple other champions, but I'm excited. I'm excited.
We're gonna see the all out come in. Dreadful is gonna jump over that Ivern, as there are 4 members of GCU topside here. Vel'Koz is going down to collapse that wave. Silas is going to be back at the base. And Valpo's gonna have to make a decision if they're gonna try to contest this, or not. With Vel'Koz being in the bot lane, Vel'Koz does have TP up, so does Silas. So they both could join the fight whenever they want to. It does look like that Valpo is just gonna give up the Rift Herald. Again, not necessarily the worst thing. But now this is 2 objectives that Valpo has kind of given up, so we don't really want to be seeing those.
I wish Valpo had capitalized a little bit earlier on Ivern's weakness taking objectives in the early game. It's almost impossible for Ivern to take rubs early, because before you have Daisy, your only source of damage is the explosion of your shield, your auto attacks, and your Q. You don't have any way to do damage to camps. It's very, very, very rough.
We are going to see, though, that Maokai is going to cleanse the vision. Jakimbo needing to be careful here. As a prolonged fight is definitely not good. Dreadful's out of Mega Gnar form, which means a lot of damage is flying its way in Dreadful's face. Gonna be very low, but not gonna be able to fully find the kill, as the minions do perish. But Casante's W is gonna prevent him from taking any real damage. Akimbo is gonna have to burn flash here in response to Maokai ult. It does look like that we could be looking for a potential dive here. Redemption coming in by the Ivern. The Law trying to shield.
Oh, barely.
Just barely not able to shield.
Jakimbo.
It's that extra gold. Oh, it's that extra gold that is the problem here. Oh, and Maokai is going to take a pretty significant amount of damage for that tower, but again, it doesn't really matter, as there's no one there really to follow up on that. There's no one there to follow up on that low damage. And Cassante is going to find the first tower. Valpo fans, if you've noticed, I'm really trying to not say finds purchase.
Yeah, you're retiring from finding purchase.
I'm retiring.
That was like your catchphrase. Oh,
I know.
We do have Mega Gnar. That Mega Gnar is coming just in the nick of time, but he is getting
flash. Oh, but Dreadful is going to be able to reverse solo bolo that kill. And even with Cassante burning flash, Dreadful is able to find his way back up and showing why Valpo top lane is Valpo top lane. We are gonna see the TP come in from the Silas. Sorry. And with that being said, Dreadful is just going to be looking to back up and take it back with all that extra gold in his pocket. Law is going to be taking some pretty decent damage from Caitlyn. Again, Caitlyn's trying to get Caitlin's starting to get a little bit dangerous now as Collector, Boots of Swiftness, and Executioner's Calling are ready. Baron Nashor is up. It is a 20-minute. It is a 20-minute point, Valpo fans. But with that being said, Valpo is down around 4,800 gold at this point. Definitely not unwinnable, but also a little bit of a fight. The Dragon's up in 17 seconds. It does look like Valpo is going to start getting vision control in preparation for that Dragon.
Yeah, and I want to just draw attention to the Ivern really quick. That Dark Seal buy, that is paying off. He backed and bought Dark Seal after that first fight. Now has 6 stacks on it and 2 fully built items. So Ivern's living the life. The Law got really caught out there. This is a big team fight. DNM doing his best to stay alive, but gets found by Ivern's Redemption. The ult from Wukong comes in just a little bit too late, I think. And that is a dominant fight from Grand Canyon University. Probably going to find 2 turrets here because there's 5 of them up still. That is not good if you're a Valpo fan.
No, it is not. Jakimbo making sure that he's doing damage, but also not trying to extend their gold lead anymore. Definitely an overextension by the Law there, and then not being able to fully, and then GCU taking the opportunity to fully capitalize and fighting 3 members of Valpo to pick off, as GCU is going to be taking this first batch of this second Dragon here. We are going to see that Dreadful does throw a rock onto Cassante. Going to do some damage, but definitely not enough. Caitlyn's ADC damage is going to be enough here to help slay the Mountain Drake. And it does look like that Valpo did also lose that bottom turret, but I'm pretty sure that was gone a while ago.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the turrets are looking rough here. That gold lead has grown to about 7,000. That's kind of a lot of damage for the support to take full health from a Caitlyn ultimate. That's no good. Valpo does kind of need to start hanging on a little bit. Not a lot of item diversity from Valpo.
No, double Trinity, double Torch. Little interesting to see. And also double Merc Treads. We are going to see that Valpo is going to be forcing. Valpo is going to force mid wave here. It's going to be a 1-4. We're going to see that Maokai is going to throw down the ultimate here. Is going to root 2 members of Valpo here, but is going to be enough to kind of help delay that tower fight. The Law does find.
If you can't blow that guy up in that situation with 4 people standing there,
that's a problem.
Something's a little wrong. I mean, Maokai has 1 tank item and the Negatron cloak. That is
the Negatron. Yeah, the cloak doing a lot of work there to ensure that Maokai is not found out. Kaizen is maybe looking for a potential dive with the Wukong ult, but not being able to find anything as Jakimbo is still there.
Did Nar get a world skin? Is that the skin that Dreadful has?
I can't.
Let me know once we go back to him.
Let's look. Jakimbo is going. Oh, Super Bear is here to help. Kaizen is going to be taking a lot of damage. Oh, come on, Jakimbo. Oh, it just barely was it not. Just barely was it not enough.
I mean, that's what a 7-1, or I guess a 6-1 Silas is gonna do.
Oh, and we're gonna see that it is. That GCU is going to be fully collapsing top side here. They are going to drag out the Cassante here, try to do some major damage here. DNM doing a lot, trying to heal. Redemption is only going to be able to heal 1 member of GCU, but again, they were able to get a tower and didn't lose anything in that process. So overall win for them. They are going to strengthen their gold lead to almost 8,000.
I mean, this is going to be an uncontested Baron. I don't think there's any way Valpo could stop this if they wanted to.
No, there's no. Yeah, no one's up, and they're not moving there fast enough. We see the Law's backing. Oh, we see. We'd have to see something crazy come up from Super Bear. We've seen some crazy.
We've seen us steal this game
before.
Already.
We are going to see the TP going to come in. The root is going to find.
Oh.
Watch it out.
Oh,
Blue team
just
is going to find it. Good. It was
It was a good
extremely-
try.
Oh,
I don't know how the rest of us ended up in there.
And yeah, no damage from Jakimbo's ult, which does hurt to see. Kai's going to take the kill on Dreadful, and Caitlyn is going to find a double kill there. Going to be really strong as we do see the offensive TP come in. The Law is the only member that is currently surviving.
I feel like this is a problem I had a lot in my games as Valpo's jungle, is sometimes the message of I'm going for a steal. It's like this, because in this situation you kind of need a Hail Mary steal on the Baron to save yourself here. That message gets twisted into like, I'm going to fight them. And then everybody else tries to fight them too, and everyone dies.
Yeah.
When really it's supposed to be like, I'm going to go in and coin flip this. Get ready to 4v5.
We're seeing a lot of action come in.
I mean, we're actually kind of doing damage. Okay.
It's 2 for 2.
Kills.
It's 2 for 2. Dreadful's taking a lot of damage here, but Meganar is up.
What did that? Was that Caitlyn?
Jakimbo is going to find another kill. Caitlyn is going to find a triple here. The Law doesn't have any mana, and it does look like that the Caitlyn is going to find a quadra kill there. Definitely slowing down the pace, but I think we're going to see at least probably one more tower seat. We might see at least one more tower seat.
I wouldn't be surprised if the game ended here.
We have 9 seconds. We have 9 seconds.
They have Baron in the ADC.
Yeah, and ADC now has their
5 seconds until Diadem is up. Oh, Super is up now, but Maokai's also probably the best champion here for peeling. Caitlyn just needs to do her best to shoot this while there's still time. Here comes the TP, and this is going to be it for Game 1 of our series versus Grand Canyon University.
All right. With that said, being Vector, obviously not the clean sweep that Valpo necessarily wanted to start off with, losing that first game. What did you take away from that first game?
I think we really need to see more pressure from the jungle here. That's what I would say Valpo needs to switch up a little bit this game. It's kind of hard to match Iron's early game power because all you have to do is just go set up those camps, smite one of them, and then you're good for a level 2 gank. You don't have to actually stay there to farm it because you just back after your gank and then right-click on all your camps and you've done your full clear. But I think we just needed to see a little bit more proactivity in the jungle. It felt like we were playing reactive around the map. I would like to see a little more proactivity.
I would definitely agree. Specifically, even the Narpic and Vel'Koz, I know Jakimbo was doing really well in the Sylas until we kind of started. That Sylas was allowed to get that kind of first kill up where the Void Grubs were in that second rotation. And after that, Sylas just became a problem because again, Vel'Koz has no really good way to disengage other than with that with the
knockup. But then Sylas can just dash to you anyway.
Yeah, Sylas has so many dashes that it's an immobile mage for the most part against Sylas just definitely isn't maybe what was good for. We're going to see a little bit of conversation. Probably we're seeing some coach and player conversation going in. But with that being said, Valpo fans, we've seen it before. Valpo does concede the first game, just getting to learn how the other team works, and we'll see a 2-1 reverse sweep afterwards. So we are obviously in the booth. We are Valpo leaning. We're going to hope to see that experience happen again. But with that being said, both teams are going to get ready and give us just a few minutes for a quick break before we're back with Game 2 of the NECC Quarterfinals, Grand Canyon University versus Valpo. All right, Valpo, and we are back with Game 2 draft, Valpo versus GCU. We seeing a quick pick and bans. We're going to see that Valpo is going to respond with the Skarner, the Talia, and we're going to see the Silas ban again. GCU having a really strong play on their Silas, and Valpo realizing that that's just a pick that they need to get rid of. GCU is going to take the Zach, the Aurora, and the Casante ban. Interesting that they're going to ban their own champion that they played. And Casante had a pretty good showing. Dreadful did get a good solo bolo kill pretty late, which was good for them to see. Valpo is going to be one Ash. Ash, again, as we said earlier, was a pick and ban. Game 1, we're seeing it here again in Game 2. A really, really strong champion, both with her slows and her long poke damage. Can kind of fight Caitlyn out of that. Can kind of fight Caitlyn with one of her longest. She has the biggest attack radius in the game. We are going to see the Lilia pickup by GCU's jungler. Again, Lilia, really, really strong champion right now. The swirl seed into a really good ultimate, just can cause absolute doom. As once Vector's here in just a second, we can ask him for his opinions on the lovely deer.
Oh, I hate that thing.
The deer is not your friend, Vector?
No, no. The deer is just really good against a lot of the champions I play, so I'm kind of biased. Deer's pretty good against Jarvan.
If you're facing against Lilia, what do you want to see? Like,
What do
should
you
she be
pick into it?
Yeah.
Udyr. I think Udyr's a pretty. No, I think Udyr actually loses to Lilia because
Shyvana?
she just kind of kites him. I don't know. Let me look up who's good into Lilia. It's been a long time.
All I know is that a good Lilia always just seems to has so much turbo pressure on the map. We are going to see though that Velpo is going to pick Syndra again, one of Jakimbo's a solid pick from Jakimbo, and we are going to see J4 up per deck on Super Bear, really strong. It is a little unfortunate to see the response from Ari from GC, a pretty decent counter to Syndra.
Yeah. It looks like Jarvan actually is good into Lilia, and I think that does make a little sense because Jarvan has the slow from his W, Jarvan has the knockup from EQ, and his ult traps her, and she doesn't really have an easy way to get out of the ult. It's like flash.
Mm-hmm.
Nunu is good into Lilia because you can get the knockout with the W, you can get the root and the slow with the snowballs, you can get the slow with the ult. It's really just about making it so that Lilia can't just get her stacks and run away from you.
Okay.
Champions that are really, really vulnerable to having her just run away from you struggle into Lilia.
Barnes for just a second. With that being said, no, yeah, definitely. Whenever I see Lilia, just again, the deer with 800 movement speed, especially when Cosmic Drive's still pretty strong item, especially on her, but it was just so strong. Additionally, like the triple burn, because her percent burn, Blackfire Torch burn, Leandry's burn, just so much burning damage that you could be left at like 5% HP, and the deer could be halfway across the map, and then you would die from burn damage. But with that being said, enough talking about the deer. Talking about the final picking bands. We do see the Jackson and Renekton come out from GCU again, two of Dreadful's really solid picks, and we're going to see the Poppy Irelia in response to Valpo again. Poppy just a super strong champion anywhere. I know if Super Bear was here in the booth with us, he would say overpowered champion, no questions asked.
I mean, what? Like that's a Zac player. Of course, a Zac player is going to say that the hardest Zac counter is OP.
I mean, Poppy just is. I have to agree with it. I have what 50 like she's hovering still like a 53%
Yeah,
win rate.
she's very strong. We're going to see the Nautilus from the Law. That's probably up there for the Law's best champions. I like Nautilus into Rakan because he dashes in and you just get an auto attack off and he's stuck with you.
And then
Can't dash out quite as easily.
Ash ensures
But
that.
yeah, Ash can just light him up.
And then yeah, once as soon as Ash starts getting her slow, you can't move. You move at such a slow speed.
Shen.
Interesting pick from Valpo's end. Dreadful's Shen definitely nothing to scoff at, but also not a super common pick that we've seen from him this
I was going
season
to
in
say, what
games.
Twilight Zone have we entered where Dreadful has picked a supportive champion?
We're gonna see Halo Blade Shen.
I'm scared.
Oh, Aatrox. That's pretty. Especially if they're both in lane. The Shen ultimate can obviously be canceled by a knockup or a
Yeah,
W from Aatrox, but still, when you're in this level of play from both sides, Shen's not going to be ult in the middle of a wave.
yeah. Unless you have to.
Unless you have to.
Cause for the shield, because you still give the shield sometimes. That can be
And sometimes that's
really
what you
useful.
want. You just want to
Yeah,
be you just want to be able to get the shield. You kind of want even to stay in lane. So we're gonna have to see a probably Bramble or Bramble Vest come out from Shen
yes.
relatively
That's going
soon
to be a
against
Bramble
Aatrox.
Vest rush.
Also against Rakan is also not bad too. So I feel it feels a lot more normal. Feels a lot more normal
Yeah,
with these pick and bans this game versus the first one. Kind of a little interesting sides on both ends.
I was going to say the same thing. This feels more like a real Valpo esports draft. Like obviously we don't usually see Dreadful on a tank kind of champion, but I mean Jarvan, Nautilus, Syndra, Ashe, that's much more normal than what we had last game. I think our chances of success are much higher here.
I was gonna say this will be the potential match point for GCU and Valpo here if Valpo falls to GCU. Obviously, in the booth, we are hoping that it'll go to a game three, and Valpo will bring home the reverse sweep as they love to show us in the booth that we know they can do. With that being said, any final comments on the draft? I know you kind of said earlier.
No, I mean I think this is just a much better. This is definitely a better look for Valpo than last game.
I was to say I have to agree. I'm looking forward to see the mid and late game with this. Again, Ash all alone can just be the death to a teammate, and
Yeah.
especially if it's somehow found on the Ari or on the Aatrox or on the Caitlyn, even especially Lilia,
Yes.
gone. They're just gone.
It's also nice that Valpo has a consistent source of slows for the Lilia.
Yeah, because Ash gets an auto attack off or a W, and then
Yeah,
Lilia
she's
just can't
slow.
move.
Yep. That's gonna be really helpful going into late game especially.
But with that being said, Valpo fans, we are going to take one more short break as we
Hey, it could be
as
one. It could be more than one. We'll have two more breaks if we win this game.
yeah, we'll have three breaks. Valpo is gonna make us take three breaks, but we're gonna take the first of those three right now as both teams finalize their picks and finalize their runes and all their fun little magic behind the scenes stuff. And we will catch you in just a few short minutes of Game 2, 0-1, Valpo to GCU.
All right, Valpo, and we are back with Game 2 of our quarterfinal series versus Grand Canyon University.
As we get the stream set up once again, we're gonna see if Velpo's gonna do something a little unorthodox. We're gonna see a five man push into the bot wave here.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I think we're just taking advantage of the Nautilus, but it looks like we might actually find the Caitlyn here.
But we will.
Oh, nice! Valpo burns a flash early on the enemy ADC. That's kind of what you're hoping to get out of this.
This is like
Gonna
Velpo,
get a ward down.
And a lot of pings go down for that ward.
Lilia is going to get a ward topside. That's about what you expect. Where are we going? Okay, we're all going back to our starting places.
We're all taking
now.
the long way around.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what you want. If you're Valpo there, you go for the invade, you burn the ADC flash. It's probably the second best thing you can get other than straight up a kill.
Yeah, because that means Caitlyn might be taking Cosmic Insight here, but that should mean that for the long while we're not going to see. It's not going to. Her flash isn't going to be up for at least the first dragon fight if it comes to that.
Have you ever seen a penta on an invade?
I don't think I've ever seen a penta.
I have seen a penta, and the person who got the penta was a Draven.
Wasn't
that
the game
just ended
over?
Very quickly.
I was going to say, isn't the game just over?
That game was that was not really a game. Just seeing some calm CSing. Ahri is aggressively posturing. So is Aatrox. Wow, the Aatrox is bullying Dreadful here, but Dreadful is kind of dancing around him on Shen.
Law trying to find an early sneaky. Ooh, and that is gonna find him and do some decent damage to Diadem. Dreadful's still not level 2 yet. We'll hit level 2 off of that minion. Again, that Aatrox is just kind of abusive early game. Not much you can do. Diadem does have to play careful. Is gonna find some more poke damage on both sides. Dreadful gonna be looking to collapse, manage that wave, so it'll be as much CS out of that top wave as possible. We are gonna see that Jakimbo is gonna hit the patented QE combo to do some good damage onto Ahri here.
Yeah, I mean, Dreadful has good sustain. He just took a lot of damage, but between Grasp and his shield, he's able to stay healthy. Able to stay healthy pretty well.
As I say, we're gonna see that Dreadful again. Dreadful's gonna get his 3 enhanced basic attacks in with the Twilight Blade. Just doing some good damage to Aatrox. Aatrox did also end up taking a turret hit there from before. So definitely we want to see if Valpo's kind of help to slowly chunk out Aatrox here. We're gonna see Super Bear come in, looking to be prepared. Them trying to get the wave. Oh, we're gonna see the flash come in. Caitlyn, we're gonna see all 3 people from both sides. Ash is.
Oh, Diadem's a little bit out of position. Oh, that is unfortunate. I mean, this is good timing by the Lilia. Oh, Super Bear does find a kill here, but that's gonna be a 2-1. 2-1 for GCU. That was so close. I think Diadem was just a little bit too far up.
Definitely sucks to see, but again, not going all to naught as there was a kill found up by J4. Again, J4 is really strong overall. And Super Bear will hopefully show that extra kill going to him is gonna do some pretty nice things. With that being said, though, we're going to see that Jakimbo is going to start. We are going to see that the Rakan is already going to make his way towards mid side, probably looking to get a deep ward in Super's jungle in early preparation for first Void Grubs. Caitlyn is going to ping the flash in the chat. I'm ensuring the team knows that J4's flash extension is not or the Q extension, my bad, is not going to be available for a while.
Dreadful's getting put through the bouncy castle right now.
Conqueror is fully charged on Aatrox right now.
Means it's time to back up.
Oh, is gonna hit Dreadful, but taking that tower shot definitely did not make it very profitable. We're gonna see the flash come in from the Law. We are gonna see that the Ahri is gonna ultimate out. The Law is level 3, so the Law does have to be careful here. Ahri's gonna try to find something, but not gonna be able to. She's gonna have to flash out, and Jakimbo is gonna take the ultimate on her, causing a lot of extra gold going into the hands of Valpo. And with that, they have a they'll have a pretty decent opportunity at getting Void Grubs.
Yeah, I mean this is a more typical game from Valpo. Like we're seeing the bot lane rotate up mid lane for the grubs. We are gonna give up a lot of gold bot lane to the Caitlyn, which is a little ominous given what happened last game. Oh, I thought he was gonna follow through on that. Especially because Caitlyn did walk away with 2 kills from that first fight. So Caitlyn is definitely looking to become a big problem again this game.
Caitlyn looks like is going to be the character of focus instead of the mid laner. But also, Caitlyn, especially with Shen and J4, I think Velpo's Velpo have a lot easier time locking down that Caitlyn if something happens than they were for that Sylas. So quite honestly, I think it's better for Velpo that the kills are going out to the ADC. Again, it's a lot of damage, but also they have so many ways to just lock down the Caitlyn versus the Sylas, which was able to do so much there earlier. We're going to see that even Dreadful is going to have the very slight XP lead here. Rakan making his way towards mid lane. Trying to help out. Dreadful is going to look to block that damage and get some decent shots of his own onto Aatrox. And with the next objective being grubs in 3 minutes, it's just going to be laning. It's just going to be Mr. Laning time for both sides. Dreadful does have to be careful for the Aatrox ultimate, as respecting that extra damage and lifesteal is going to be very important for him. We're going to see that the Law is going to Hex Flash, and Ahri is going to find her ult at just the right moment there. But again, ultimate is going to be down for a little bit of time. And we're going to see that Dreadful is probably just going to back and then use this TP to get back in lane relatively quickly. All right, Vector. So it's Chemtech that's been. Chemtech was the first dragon. Hextech is this one. What do you think the soul for this game is going to be?
Ocean.
Ocean.
What do you think?
I'm gonna say Infernal.
What is that component that Diadem has that's on cooldown right now?
Oh, Scout Slingshot. Scout Slingshot. It's not a good component. Dreadful or Diadem is gonna find getting hit right on the edge of that Rakan. On Rakan's knockup, just allow it for a little bit of extra damage to go off on Diadem. That really, I don't think necessarily had to. But yeah, Scout Slingshot, about every, I think, 20 seconds, your next auto attack does like 20 extra magic damage. It's really not worth it. Oh, and Caitlyn has ult. Caitlyn used it on Diadem, and because Caitlyn already has Collector at 9 minutes, Diadem taking a huge amount of damage from that ultimate. We're going to see the Hawk Shot come in. Lilia's going to know that Lilia's up. They're going to know that Lilia is up at the top lane. It does look like they are just going to have to play safe to back up there.
Sewer is walking right now. He kind of needs to hover right here.
He does, but again, the longer you keep Rakan down there, the longer it's going to take for Rakan to be able to respond to a potential Void Grubs play. So it does look like we are going to see. Oh, Dreadful is going to do some pretty good damage onto Aatrox there. Just getting a pretty decent amount of damage in. We're going to see the.
I know Dreadful. He's about to try and fight him again once this wave comes.
Trying to find a good Spirit Blade. I
Yeah.
would if he can find a good Spirit Blade proc on the Aatrox, then we might.
I think
just
he was
see
about half a second away from doing it there, because he has to pull the sword through Aatrox,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, pulling the sword through Aatrox just does a lot more damage, at least from what I remember. I don't think I can. My Shen is not nearly as clean as Dreadful's, so. But we are gonna see. Speaking of clean, it looks like we're gonna have a potential team fight going on as Diadem gets found. As Diadem gets found with a lot of different abilities there. A triple ultimate being used from him. Lilia, Caitlyn, and Rakan.
That's a clean kill.
Super Bear is going to try to get out. Dreadful may just be able to keep Super Bear in. Super Bear. Oh,
yeah,
we're going to see the ultimate.
Aatrox is stuck. I think he'll live. Oh, the tower just barely missing.
Oh,
Oh.
we see the law come in, and the law's able to find not find his purchase, but is able to find the Aatrox, making that go 3 for 1, but also slowing down the fight. We are going to see though.
No way. I thought there was a chance he was going to get the Lilia too.
It was close. It was definitely a lot closer than you might have expected.
But I mean, that's definitely not good for Valpo.
No. We're gonna see though that Valpo is gonna be at about a 3K gold deficit. Again, Valpo was able to get 4 grubs, so not the worst thing ever. We are gonna see the ultimate come out from Jakimbo. Kaizen being extremely low. Kaizen doesn't have ult, does burn flash. Jakimbo burns flash in response, and does find the kill. Dreadful needing to be careful here, as the tower does fall of less security than he might think. Caitlyn taking a lot of damage, but looks like might be able, but not is maybe. Dreadful's trying to hold on as long as he can, but only 3 people can only last for so long. We are going to see that Valpo is going to trade that top tower for Hextech, and it's going to be Ocean. Vector, a winner is you.
I had just a feeling.
Well, let's hope the feeling of Valpo fighting will continue. Oh, we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that Ahri is in the bot lane. She does have some friends nearby, but it does look like that Diadem is gonna get found with the full Ahri combo. We're gonna see Rakan trying to knock up. Rakan's gonna get the kill on Diadem there. The Law is gonna walk this out. It's gonna take a pretty decent charm, but I think the Law is gonna fall to the Ahri, and be a really good wait opportunity from GCU's mid laner.
Yeah, I mean, I think Valpo is doing better on objectives, but we're still kind of struggling on the map.
I was gonna say we're gonna see the Dreadful gonna take that hit. Ash Arrow just barely not being able to find someone. Again, as Dreadful and Aatrox are gonna fight over vision. You love to see a fight over vision. Always a great time. GCU though, with the rotations from them, they will have found 14 out of 15 turret plates.
Yeah, that is it's a lot of gold.
I know that Valpo has traded some additional objective pressure, having 4 Void Grubs and a Dragon compared to GCU's 2 and 1. But again, losing 15 plates is not necessarily worth it. But Valpo going to continue, and we're gonna see that Jakimbo is gonna find the Caitlyn and gonna shut her down. Jakimbo is gonna be able to get out of here with the power of the Dreadful ults. Valpo turning this around, Kaizen falling to Jakimbo, getting the double kill on him, and Valpo turning that fight around really quickly. And they're gonna look to try to overload mid lane. Aatrox doing a lot of damage, but no ult. The only ultimate is Aatrox's. Jakimbo taking a lot of damage here, still surviving. Valpo really trying to find the rest of that mid turret. They do got to be. Oh, they're doing a lot of damage to Aatrox. Aatrox is in his ultimate form and still not. Still not being able to fully kill. Jakimbo's still here, and he's still doing a lot of damage. Diadem is continuing to lay on the onslaught of damage, becoming a champion. And Jakimbo is going to take 3 kills that fight and mid-turret, giving Valpo an absolutely huge influx of gold.
Yeah, that definitely helps offset the deficit a little bit. Oh,
Up and
Dreadful does live that. I think
Dreadful.
we're gonna lose mid turret here.
We're going to lose mid-turret, however, the resets are needed. And that's so much extra gold in the pockets of Valpo. Super Bear trying to make sure that he can still get his grub. Oh, we're going to see the flash come out from Lilia there. A little bit greedy, but also with Rift Herald being up, if they're able to secure it, and that will be another objective that falls to GCU. Going to see that there is that control word there. Diadem and Law are going to cleanse it. Not going to be able to necessarily find anything. Valpo does not have to be careful, as they've seen the Ahri done the potential death push once. I think Valpo will realize that just continuing to keep their eye on vision is super important. We are going to see that we are going to see some potential preparations for the third dragon, which would be a really good team fight opportunity for Valpo. They were able to win the last one, and if they're able to win this one, that is probably going to be the difference between getting them back, and that's going to be the difference between fully having them back in the game. Oh, we're going to see the Rakan charm, but not being able to do much else. Kind of a. Oh, and Rakan gets found with the Ashe ult. The Q going in, Super Bear trying to extend and just barely not being able to find Rakan there. That does Ashe ult is down, but again, not necessarily the worst.
Thank you, Jeff Paul, for the cheer of 100 bits.
Well, any message or just the cheer?
No message. No message. There's a Shamrock emote.
Shamrock emote? Lucky. Valpo lucky. It's gotta be, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with Jeff, again, thank you for the donation. The donation is going to lead into a potential team fight here. Again, 4v4. Dreadful's ultimate ready to help if needed. Aatrox does have his TP. He is going to be TPing down into the bot lane, or down behind Valpo here. They have to be careful. We are going to see that Jakimbo does get found by the sleep. And so many things happening right now. Jakimbo is able to find the Aatrox. Diadem is going, trying to slow the Lilia. Not going to be able to do it as she just has too much movement speed. And it is going to be a 3-for-1 in terms of kills. And it does look like that the third dragon might just head to GCU. A lot of action happened in that past fight. Again, not necessarily strong. They have to respond to that Rift Herald being pushed as they don't want it to collide with the tower. And GCU is going to be up just around 6,000 gold at 18 minutes. Again, keeping Valpo relatively on their toes. All right, with Jakimbo being 6-0, what else do you need to see if for Valpo to get back in the game and for Valpo to kind of secure a game 3? What do you think, Vector?
I mean, it looks better than last game for sure.
I would say a good Baron power play. Oh, and we're gonna see the cleanse come out from Caitlyn in response to the Ashe ult.
I mean, that's just a smart choice of summoner spell into Ashe.
Yeah, she can just find one. She finds one. You're slightly overextended, and you have a one-time. You have basically a 2-time get out of jail free card to flash and the cleanse. We are though going to see that Shen is going to be stacking that Heartsteel stacks pretty effectively at 124 in 19 minutes. Again, relatively strong, just to ensure that Dreadful's shields are just going to continue to get stronger. And with the Law being here, ready to sweep vision, it does look like we could be looking for a potential Baron fight.
Yeah, this is a good look if you're Jakimbo. Certainly one way to shut down the Lilia or the Caitlyn is just blow them up as
Syndra.
as Syndra.
Get one good slow, and then you do your full combo. Your ultimate does so much damage, and I'm assuming that Jakimbo's at 100 stacks by now. It would be Jakimbo has 60 from leveling up and from all the extra siege minions and team fights. It's got to be pretty close to 100 if he's not already there. We are gonna see that Lilia is going to have the preparation item for Banshee's Veil. Hopefully trying to prevent that very thing if Syndra does the QE rotation. It is just gonna pop that annul and make it offline for 60 seconds, which quite honestly in a team fight, getting that first stun is so important. So unless Ash or someone else can pop that spell shield, it is going to be a lot harder for Valpo to catch out Lilia. Oh, we are gonna see though that the Caitlyn ult does find Diadem, is gonna do about half his health. Rakan is ulting in on Super Bear. I'm not gonna be able to find him as Super is going to EQ over the wall and be safe. But with this, we do see that Valpo is here as a full 5-person. Diadem is at half, but with Ocean Soul, we should be seeing the plants blooming a lot more frequently than we might otherwise. And Super Bear clears the vision. Diadem continues to get a little bit more golden resources. Oh, does find the Rakan. Rakan is just going to travel back, not being able to find too much, but that is going to allow Valpo to have the pressure. Valpo gains pressure mid lane. As we see the Aatrox is going to start looking to potentially back. Oh, and does find the Rakan again, just Jakimbo chunking him out, and the shield. Oh, Caitlyn being found by the ultimate. The Law finding him, trying to do a lot of damage. Jakimbo melting.
Oh, here goes Lilia. That is all 5 members of Valpo slept. You don't see that all the time. That is a great play from the Lilia, but that's sometimes referred to as the 9-man sleep, when you sleep everybody on the enemy team, but nobody on your team is there to follow up on it. That is the 9-man sleep. Your teammates are sleeping too.
And I was gonna say, it does look like Valpo with this play is gonna get a free Baron, or I shouldn't say a free Baron. They fought for this Baron and they rightfully deserve it. We are gonna see that Syndra is gonna be crashing that wave, are going to be pushing out that wave slightly before joining on the Baron play. Diadem being extremely low from the Baron. They do have to be careful, especially as Caitlyn, if Caitlyn has any sort of vision and can find Diadem, someone else, probably Super Bear, is going to have to be the one to tank it. Syndra is going to be the one to kill Baron Nashor as Valpo is going to reset. It is going to be very close though, as Dragon is up in 10 seconds. But that is a lot of gold in the hands of Valpo. Shrinking that gold deficit from 5,000 to just under 2,700.
Valpo is going to be losing another dragon here, unfortunately.
But if you're Valpo, you take that trade. You take losing. Even if it would make them get soul point. You're gonna trade that for Baron, as it's just Baron is just so much stronger. It does look like that it does look like that we might be seeing an overload top lane in order to get top lane tier 1. Syndra in the bot wave, trying to clear for Aatrox. We do have to be careful of that Lilia being nearby, as Lilia is a really good way to just shut down Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, here comes Valpo with a vengeance against the turrets here. We have Baron. Now is our time. We can actually get something done on the map.
And I was gonna say, because Lilia was bot lane, that is gonna allow Valpo to push up that wave and continue to strengthen their gold deficit. Gonna see the Swirl Seed come in. It's just gonna hit the wall. Syndra's still in the bot lane, and I'm pretty sure Syndra's strong enough to clear that wave and take that tower in time again, using that Baron power play in the best possible way to continue to shrink that gold lead to now under 2,000. With this being said, obviously the next dragon Valpo is going to be looking at to grab kills pretty even across the board. Taking a quick look at CS, we didn't do that at all game one. Our apologies, Valpo fans. In the mid wave, Dreadful down around 50 CS. Super Bear also down around 75 CS in the jungle. Jakimbo up just around 25 in the mid wave. DNM down 15 in the ADC role, and the Law down 3 CS. But that's not necessarily a big thing. Props again to DNM for maintaining a relatively
good CS.
Relatively good CS. DNM's done an amazing job this year of been able, especially for all the higher ranks that he has had to play against, being able to kind of neutralize a lot of strong bot lanes and allowing Super Bear to play towards the top end mid and get them ahead, and so that they're able to keep the game going a lot stronger. We're going to see some pings come out from both sides. That does look like Baron power play is over on the side of Valpo, and they are going to be just around 1,800 gold under. Super needing to be careful here as Lilia is in his jungle. We do see the Law and Diadem here, looking to potentially steal. Super does end up getting the camp. But yeah, that Lilia right now is just so strong. Rift Maker, yeah, she has her 3-item core and also some defensive options. Diadem is not in a good position.
Oh no, Diadem
right
flashes
now.
out of the frying pan and into the fire with that one.
And the Law is gonna fall. There is gonna be 2 members of Valpo falling. GCU looking to probably take that mid tier 2. Syndra is gonna respond by taking that top lane tier 2. Super is gonna force to be on the defense. Dreadful relatively strong. Dreadful does have to be careful here as Ahri, and as he's got a lot of action happening on him. He's gonna get that Heartstone stack. We're gonna see that.
Oh, here comes Syndra.
Syndra's gonna prevent that siege from going any further. Caitlyn is gonna ult Jakimbo, but good map awareness from Jakimbo, being able to get. They are gonna trade that mid for the top lane tier 2, which is not. It's not horrible, as we are going to see, though, that it is now 5 towers to 4. Valpo actually having a slight tower advantage here. With Dragon being up in 50 seconds, though, Valpo is going to have to look to make their way, start clearing the vision of GCU if they would like to be able to have a priority for this potentially final regular Dragon. All right, Vector. Valpo's been able to start slowly, I don't want to say clawing their way back, but slowly lighting their way to get to make their pretty not as good early game into a really strong mid performance from them. What is the final thing we need to see in this late game for Valpo to take home the second game?
Honestly, just keeping waves pushed out, because I think we're at a point in the game where a blowout on Baron could potentially end the game for either team, or at least set up the pins to be knocked over.
We're gonna see a potential full collapse on Dreadful, as Valpo's just gonna take the second a free dragon. They're gonna back, and they are gonna lose that top tier 2. But again, losing top tier 2 for another dragon,
it's not the best thing in the world, but it's not the worst thing in the world either.
Super Bear and Co. trying to find the key. Oh, it is going to be a 3v4. The Law is able to find the Rakan. Rakan doing major damage to Kimbo, popping shield to not take as much damage here. E being found. Rakan falling, trading 1-for-1. Jakimbo doing a lot of damage. The Law and Super Bear are going to fall to Aatrox. Aatrox getting a triple kill. And Jakimbo is going to be the sole surviving member, as they are going to trade that 4-for-1, which should mean that GCU is going to take this opportunity to get Baron.
That's no good.
No.
That is no good, especially with that wave pushing in top.
It does look like I think Syndra might be trying to make a choice about what she thinks to do. Oh, that's a lot of damage coming out from Syndra. Syndra might be looking, Jakimbo might be looking. Jakimbo, no. Oh, no. Jikimbo, I think, was looking to see if he could maybe steal one. If he was a little bit earlier, we could have seen an absolutely crazy Jikimbo play there. But Jimbo also has 10 Darksteel stacks, and so he's got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, Jikimbo's kind of playing out of his mind right now, and if I were him, I would be looking to switch that Dark Seal over to a whatever that other thing is. Yeah. It's Magi's what?
Magi Soul Stealer? Magi Soul Stealer.
Yeah, Soul Stealer.
But we are going to see that he is going to buy the decap.
I mean, that's also something really good to buy.
Rabadon's is just so strong, especially because at Syndra Max stacks, she unlocks her Transcendence, her full Transcendence, which gives her additional 50% AP. Dreadful has a huge wave crashing bot side and is not going to be able to do too much. Nautilus does eat the ultimate from Caitlyn, and definitely
Wave clear is not something Shen is known for, especially without a Hydra. If he had a Hydra, he'd be doing a little bit better at it.
But it looks like we'll be probably getting a Jaxos Protean instead. She again a really strong weapon. Super rare. Also Jarvan the Fourth, not known for his amazing wave clear, but Ashe with static is known for wave clear. That spell shield is going to get procced onto Lilia. Jikimbo taking just a pretty decent chunk of damage there. Dreadful. Hitting the stun onto Aatrox is causing to have a little bit of scuffle. But it does look like because of that, GCU is going to be able to overload that mid lane just a little bit and get that turret. Oh, Dreadful doing a lot of damage onto Lilia. Finding her, knocking her down. The charm onto Dreadful being pretty problematic. We're gonna see the cleanse come out from the Caitlyn. Super trying to find something, but he doesn't have his
Jarvan
team
gets
there.
the ult onto somebody, but does get taken down. I mean, Valpo's doing their best to hold on here. Oh, Syndra misses her. That's her W. Oh, Jikimbo's gonna go down. Aatrox is TPing into the base.
Dreadful has to play this amazingly, and unfortunately he is gonna fall. And with death timers as long as they are, anything can still happen. Again, it's not over until the Nexus falls. We are gonna see that the Ahri is back, but Ahri has unleashed TP.
Yeah, and this is most likely gonna be the end of Valpo's playoff run.
There will be.
The team is typing GG, so that is gonna be it.
All right, Valpo fans. Valpo does unfortunately fall 0-2 to Grand Canyon University. 2 games, specifically the second one, really well played out. And overall, while this is going to be Valpo's last stop for potential NECC victory this game, Valpo, I believe, will still be in the losers bracket. So we'll see if
I believe so.
We'll see another round of NECC playoffs and potentially Valpo now fighting for that 3rd place victory.
Yep.
With that being said, Vector, is there anything you want to say about
this
series?
It was a valiant effort, but I mean, when you get late game like this, a single team fight can mean the end of the game, and that's kind of what happened here.
I say I have to agree. Well, Valpo fans, that is going to be the end of our stream today. Valpo again does fall 0-2, but Valpo will be heading to LAN in South Bend on Friday and Saturday to play. So please keep an eye out for that. I know on Thursday, I believe, will be Rocket League. And then Overwatch.
Overwatch on Friday. I will also be casting. So I'll be on broadcast for Overwatch this Friday.
So be keeping Valpo cheers in your thoughts as multiple playoffs are still going to be continuing, both for NECC and for their other respective leagues. But with that being said, my name is Monsieur, and signing me out of the booth today.
I'm Vector, and it was an honor casting for you guys tonight and this season. So even though it's not over, it's been good. We'll see you around the next time.
Catch you later, Beacons.